The International Association of Eating Disorders Professionals Foundation presents the 2012 Imagine Me Beyond What You See Body Image Mannequin Art Competition. It was created in 2010 as part of IADEP's Eating Disorders Educational Awareness Project, promoting a healthy awareness and acceptance of body image through art. For this competition, IADEP decided to incorporate the use of life-size human mannequins as a unique canvas to provide a creative surface for expression and inner reflection. The results have been nothing short of extraordinary. IADEP invited treatment centers, art therapists, hospitals, private practice, high school and college students, along with the general public, to create mannequin artwork that reflected their perception of beauty and body image. This year, we received 12 phenomenal entries, many of whom licensed art therapists played a pivotal role. Join us in exploring and celebrating our 2012 Imagine Me Beyond What You See entries and winners. Entry number 1 is titled Humanity, submitted by Carolina House with art therapist Eva Miller. Humanity was created during weekly art therapy groups at Carolina House, a residential eating disorders treatment facility for women 17 and older. Humanity was inspired by the thought that there is no one definition for beauty. They started with a blank canvas, a standing mannequin in the middle of the group room. Her shape and form triggered many thoughts, feelings, and discussion. It was decided that the first transformation would be accomplished using plaster to redefine her shape and form. The group used plaster strips and then transitioned to a bucket of plaster to change her shape. It was a conscious decision to build out only certain parts of her body. One breast is larger than the other, one arm, one leg. The group discussed accepting and celebrating bodies of all kinds. She was then painted. The form served as a canvas for images that were collected, sorted, and incorporated, highlighting activity and relationships. As images were being created, there was a conscious effort to seek out images beyond the stereotypical, poised, and airbrushed forms that saturate so many magazines today. Notes were written both to and from the mannequin as her image and message journeys out into the community. Dear Humanity, thank you for serving as a reminder that our beauty and value lie simply in the fact that we are breathing. Entry number 2 is titled The Onion, submitted by Oliver Pyatt Center's Casa Rosada. Over the span of 3 months, residents engaged in journaling, discussion, and self-reflection. Then they collectively decided to model their mannequin after an onion. The onion theme was created to reflect how people, like onions, are comprised of many layers. Peel away the outer skin, and one will find that so much more lies beneath. The onion mannequin is symbolic of the many layers there are to human beings, most beyond what meets the eye. As part of this project, each participating individual was asked to create a petal for the onion that portrayed a part of them lying dormant beneath their surface. The petals were attached to the mannequin in layers as a representation of the many different parts of ourselves. Our mannequin reminds us that just like the onion, human beings are more than the surface appearance. We are so much more than what is immediately seen. Across the chest of the mannequin is written, I am me, as a reminder that underneath everything, we are all ourselves, each unique in our own ways. Entry number 3 is titled Yin Yang, Love Hate, submitted by the Oliver Pyatt Center's Casa Verde. The women of Casa Verde participated in an intensive experience of body image exploration over a period of 3 months. After a thorough exploration that included journaling, self-reflection, and group processing, members decided to have the mannequin reflect both the yin-yang and love-hate themes that arose when exploring body image. The actual body shape of the mannequin was chosen from participants' to reflect a strong, healthy, and womanly body. The mannequin was detailed, painted, and constructed to reflect both the dark and light sides that we find within ourselves. A mixture of old, sick clothes, fabrics, jewels, paint, and paper were used to represent the self-reflections within each person. The dark side is evident of the pain and self-hate that participants experience, while the colorful side represents the hope, strength, and power within each of us. Through the words and symbols placed upon her, participants displayed how, although struggles with body image may occur, the reflection of affirmations and hope move them closer towards recovery. Entry number 4 is titled Shattered, submitted by Dr. Susan J. Mendelson's Eating Disorder Therapy Group. This piece is the result of several group therapy sessions, during which we shattered mirrors and glued individual shards onto the surface of our mannequin. By destructing these mirrors, we engaged ourselves in a therapeutic process that symbolized both our hatred for this mental illness and the eradication of our own eating disorders. Moreover, we destroyed a tangible instrument that for us represents one of our most fueling factors of eating disorders, body image. This process can also signify our deconstruction of institutionalized beauty projected by the media. By gluing the pieces back together in our own arrangement, we subsequently reconstructed our own unique image that does not adhere to the beauty standards valued by society. In this sense, we use mirrors, the very object that has proved so problematic in our past, to empower us. Upon first glance, the shattered pieces appear as a protective armor covering the entire body. We found this particularly significant because for some individuals, eating disorders may serve as a shield from emotional trauma and the outside world at large. In another sense, the sharp edges of the glass vividly denote the torture and self-destruction of eating disorders. Unable to picture oneself within a realistic perception, the viewer is placed into the shoes of someone who suffers from an eating disorder, and more specifically, body distortion. The mirror shards prevent the viewer from focusing on the mannequin's clear-cut shape and diverts the eye in multiple directions away from the body itself. By diverting the viewer's attention in multiple directions, we force the viewers to literally imagine the body beyond what they see. Entry number 5 is titled The Light Within, submitted by Eating Recovery Center's Behavioral Hospital for Children and Adolescents with art therapist Katie Pruitt. The main message that the group wanted to convey was being seen for who they are as a person on the inside rather than for their eating disorder. This is why they decided to light their mannequin up from within. The group discussed how part of the recovery process is rediscovering one's sense of self and coming to life again, which is also symbolized by the use of light on the outside of the mannequin. Around her neck, she is wearing handmade paper bead necklaces. The beads are made out of copies of pages from group members' journals. Many of them use journaling and poetry writing as a way to cope with the difficult feelings and emotions that arise during the recovery process. The group felt that it was important that their mannequin wear these necklaces as a representation of what she had been through and the strength that comes with the knowledge that she has overcome something so difficult. There are 5 necklaces, one for each group member that participated. The strips of denim around her torso came from a pair of jeans. The group painted and wrote numbers on the jeans. They discussed how clothes, and particularly jeans, could be something that strengthened the eating disorder and worked against their recovery. They described the transformative process of ripping the jeans and creating something new from them as liberating. At the base of their mannequin are her roots, symbolized by the weaving of yarn. Knitting is another popular coping skill, and the group wanted to incorporate that into their image. She is now regrounded in her sense of self and ready to enjoy life. Entry number 6 is titled Mariposa, submitted by Eating Recovery Center's Partial Hospital Program with art therapist Lisa Tolucci. A book called Hope for the Flowers, a story about two caterpillars in search of a meaningful life, inspired the artwork. Its first attempts at finding a valued life took them climbing to a superficial existence, following the masses. True transformation could only take place after they were willing to be in the unknown place of incubation in a cocoon where real change takes place. The journey of the butterfly is mirrored in the treatment of eating disorders. Our group named the figure Mariposa, Spanish for butterfly. She is wrapped in a cocoon as a symbol of incubation and the process of transformation into a greater experience of life. The cocoon can also represent the ways in which we can restrict ourselves internally with rules, emotional avoidance, and inflexibility. As part of the cocoon, she is wrapped with silky threads, impressed with passages from the book. The cocoon is painted brown at the bottom, symbolizing earth, and graduates to green and blue, representing the sky. Mariposa herself is blue, with sparkling spirals painted on her as a pattern symbolizing transformation. The wings symbolize a life with increased freedom, potentials, and possibilities. She holds the tree of life with a single white dove resting in the branches. The mannequin has passages from the book Hope for the Flowers integrated as ribbons wrapping the cocoon. As a group, they became aware of how they participate in the process of community, cooperation, and consensus. Our hope is that people can take this connectedness into their life and community at large. Entry number 7 is titled Tree of Life, submitted by the Nutrition Clinic's Intense Outpatient Programs and the Soul Stone Partial Hospitalization Program with art therapist Genevieve Skellen. The initial response from clients in the first group was to transform the mannequin into a tree, symbolizing the life connection of all members. Each group member then created a leaf, representing their own individual struggles with their self-awareness and self-acceptance. As the mannequin traveled to each program site, group members continued to transform the tree with their own leaves, their own internal struggles with self-judgment. A universal theme heard in each group was that negative body image is the final and most challenging aspect of one's judgmental part to release. However, as one discharging client stated, body acceptance is a significant part of the process of recovery and self-acceptance. Entry number 8 is titled Unraveled, submitted by Rebecca Tishman, a sophomore at Maryland Institute College of Art. Unraveled serves as a visual representation of the overflowing beauty within each of us. It was created from only thread, buttons, and glue, in hopes of creating an illusion in which the viewer was not immediately aware of the presence of the materials used. The thread-covered buttons spilling out from the neck of the mannequin and winding around the body show the overflowing beauty we each contain, whether that beauty is present right on the surface or rising from the deepest places hidden within us, but nonetheless present in each of us in one way or another. From the side, the layers resemble a cross-section, giving the impression that the viewer can see through to the inside of the form, which is glowing red. The piece highlights illusions and distortions we face regarding our bodies and internal feelings. Entry number 9 is titled Skin Deep, submitted by Reflections Eating Disorder Treatment Center at Dominion Hospital. The goal for this group was to foster a therapeutic space and activity that promoted positive concepts of body image. Through the collaborative efforts of the individuals, the mannequin was used as a canvas for our thoughts, feelings, and ideas about body image. Patients were asked to create a piece of artwork that shows an outward part of yourself, which represents an inside personality trait. We decided that a gender-neutral mannequin would be best, but not easy to find, so we chose one of each gender. We now have two separate pieces treated with the same process, tied together by their mutual struggle to free themselves from judgment. Through this, one essential message that the group would like to convey is that eating disorders impacts each gender. We have constructed on the outside of our person canvases negative messages from the world found in magazines or messages that the group members subscribed to that were handwritten. By creating a focus on the internal, group members may have had the opportunity to successfully practice identifying and focusing on positive attributes. Some were able to find empowerment through this process. One individual reported, "I know that society is wrong." Another member of the group discovered that she was able to enjoy the process, even if it was tough to deal with some emotions and thoughts. This piece showed the group has learned beauty is from the inside out. Through the creative process, we supported each other with this endeavor and were able to find that delicate balance of body image within ourselves. There is nothing more beautiful. Entry number 10 is titled, Blossoming into Wholeness, submitted by residents and alumni of the Renfrew Center of Florida. Her design came into being from recycled clothing that was once worn by the residents and alums of our program. As the residents and alums grew emotionally, they were able to heal from the inside out, therefore making it possible for them to surrender their unhealthy clothes. Giving up the unhealthy clothes is very symbolic to someone who suffers from an eating disorder. If it were not for the healing that took place among the residents and alumni, we would not have been able to complete this creative project. The healing has allowed each of us to blossom into wholeness. Our mannequin is a representation of that healing. The intertwined vines represent the complex pathways from which seeds can grow and blossom into whole flowers. Each flower is diverse in its size and shape and is alive and vibrant with color. The leaves serve as support, holding messages to inspire growth along the pathway to transformation. Inherent in the message is the belief that there is power in community and strength in the compassion that flows throughout a group of people who all share one wish, to walk hand in hand on the journey of becoming whole. Entry number 11 is titled Bella, submitted by Rogers Memorial Hospital. The mannequin represents the struggle of body image with eating disorder patients from the perception of the therapist. The body is created pure from the beginning, but this can change by an eating disorder growing as well as the reflection of society on body image. The eating disorder can start as a beautiful flower, but the underlying idea is that the flowers are very dark, thorny, and dead. The eating disorder can grow into this cloak that is draped over the body. It becomes this weight that continuously makes the person think and feel that they have to be perfect and focus their life on numbers. This creates the feeling of uncomfortableness in their body. The whole piece may look glamorous, but the body will never feel comfortable with an eating disorder because it will always be there giving negative feedback to the body. In treatment, therapists are helping patients to take a look at how the cloak was created and work through the conflicts this has created in their life. Also helping patients take off the cloak that burdens them, helping them challenge those negative thoughts and replace them with affirming statements that help them start feeling more comfortable in their body or move into acceptance of their body. Entry number 12 is titled, She is a Tree of Life, submitted by Sarah Birchfield, a recent recipient of a master's degree in clinical psychology. My vision for this project was to transform a mannequin into a tree. The natural world has always been a source of grounding and healing for me. At one point during my treatment, my therapist compared trees to women. We look at trees and see only beauty. We don't criticize broken branches, seared trunks, or brown leaves. We don't compare or call one ugly because it looks different than the other. No, we see their magnificence. So why do we look at ourselves so differently? Why do we judge and compare and degrade our body when we would never do that to a tree? My hope was that the finished project would speak to this concept and challenge our definition of beauty. I found her used and damaged on Craigslist. I thought to myself, all the better. What woman does not carry with her scars of some sort? She stood 5'9" with measurements 32, 25, 34. After restoring her weight to 36, 31, 41, I papier-mâchéed the mannequin with pictures of women from a wide range of age, culture, fashion, and size, including a picture of myself near her bosom. Adding a layer of brown paint over the pictures was an internal challenge, but became cathartic. As I gently wiped away the paint, I felt like I was caring for each woman. This spoke to the very nature of my project. Our beauty has been muddled and lost in an unattainable quest for perfection, and here I was, washing that away and revealing beauty in the idiosyncrasies. I used actual branches from a tree to create her limbs, and for the leaves, I created a questionnaire and asked women to define beautiful. All of the women who had found peace and were able to appreciate their unique body began to look inward. Their definition of beautiful was aligned with their body concept and removed from physical ideals.